everybody, and I literally on this Saturday night. Welcome to February. I'm just a simple man, and my name is Noah Foster, and welcome once again to another double feature special episode of 205 Live Matters. There has been a lot to discuss cruiserweight wrestling-wise over the past 2 weeks, as we will cover and highlight a little bit of the NXT UK qualifying matches for the Fatal 4-Way that occurred at WorldsCollide. We will also discuss that match in full and our takeaways and who impresses us the most, as well as last week's episode of 205 Live and yesterday's episode of 205 Live, as the purple and orange brand is basically becoming, well, black and purple, as NXT sleeps into eternity. Honestly, it's probably the best it's ever been. Still questionable about general manager, but I digress. Before I get into all that, before I continue randomly spieling, allow me, of course, to introduce you to my co-host. We are the Simple Holiday. He is a family man. He is a kind-hearted man. He is the leader of the NWA wing of Team Indie DQ. And if you haven't seen an NWA Power review, go look at his. It is, of course, one of my best friends in wrestling, the Holiday, Christopher Mace. Chris, how are you this evening?
Oh, back on the work grind again this week, so it's been a long week, but it's time to talk about some 205 Live, and everything's been going on the last couple weeks. We have a lot of new changes coming up here.
Oof, tell me about it. So with that, first off, if you don't follow Aftermatch Wrestling, please support and subscribe to my friends as they bring you the best in reviews, recaps, and humor. Jerry Slaughter. In NXT and NXT UK with What's NXT and the NXT UK Tea Party. So please follow Aftermatch Wrestling, follow my friend's YouTube channel here for the best in NWA, NXT, and NXT UK. But the reason we're going to briefly highlight NXT UK is because we are literally going to follow a timeline here. We're going to start with last week, the shows before WorldsCollide. NXT UK gave us a little bit of foreshadowing of, well, basically the growth of the Cruiserweight roster for 205 Live, as well as the Cruiserweight division now involving more of NXT UK. As NXT continues to bring NXT, NXT UK, and 205 Live all underneath the black and gold banner. Hence my shirt, NXT for Life. Anyway, with that being said, we had two qualifying matches for what became a Fatal 4-Way Championship match at WorldsCollide, with Andrew Garza defending his title against so far confirmed Isaiah First Scott, and two participants from NXT UK yet confirmed. There were two qualifying matches, Ligero vs. Jordan Devlin, and the B. Brian Kendrick, making his NXT UK debut, I might add, versus the Kiwi Buzzsaw Travis Banks. For those of you who watched the last episode of 205 Matters, I thank you as always. We briefly discussed and predicted our winners for these matches. And we got half of it right. I must say I'm surprised. But with that being said, Jordan Devlin, he of course got the best of Ligero after trying to attack his mask at first. Ligero with some hard-hitting offense in the early going. In the end, though, he went for C4L, couldn't do it. There was an exchange, and Devlin got him with basically a slingshot cutter, and then, of course, Devlin's side. And next thing you know, Jordan Devlin, he qualified for the Fatal 4-Way. By the way, he went for the Devlin side twice. The first one was countered by a wicked DDT. Ligero's always been one of those I feel like that has a lot of potential. Kind of gets lost in the shelf, I feel like. But who knows where it goes from here. Chris, any further takeaways you have from Ligero versus Jordan Devlin?
No, it was what I expected. I expected Devlin to win this match, but I thought it was a very competitive match. And like I said, I was happy Devlin won.
Yeah. Simple as that. And then we go into the other qualifying match. That was the main event of the evening with the Kiwi Buzzsaw Travis Banks versus the man with a plan, the Brian Kendrick. How the hell did this happen? But boy, did he get a pop. And this match was definitely, of course, a match of psychology, as the guy that's done it all, been around everywhere, and even helped train Ronda Rousey. He showcased why he is the man with a plan, constantly working over Travis Banks' arm and hand, and even at one point nearly getting a count-out victory. Now, Chris, you're old school like me, so of course you know much more about the veteran Brian Kendrick. What do you think about his performance here? And you and I both picked him to win because we were like, we need that, veteran-type experience in this match per se. But I get it. NXT, they're bringing over the future. You're going to put over the forthcoming. And Travis Banks right now is the present. And honestly, Travis Banks, he impressed me here, regardless. Your thoughts on this match?
It's probably the best Travis Banks match I've seen out of him. Everybody knows Travis Banks drives me crazy. He's not as bad as Tony Storm, folks, but Travis Banks can drive me crazy. My first impression of him didn't impress me, but like I said, he has gotten better. But the Brian Kendrick, like I said, his veteran experience, his storytelling, his psychology can make anybody. He's one of those few wrestlers that can wrestle a broomstick and make a broomstick look good. That's what he did here. He made Travis Banks look like $1 million in this match and putting Travis Banks over. I wanted Brian Kendrick being there for this same reason for Worlds Collide, to have the veteran there, the psychology, who could slow down the pace and do the storytelling, but that's not what happened. But I wasn't dissatisfied that Travis Banks was in the match at Worlds Collide, when we'll get into that here shortly.
Yes, absolutely. And again, the Brian Kendrick, he's saying do something. He calls himself pretty much the forebringer of the cruiserweight division in the modern era, and the reason 205 Live existed. Again, he came in as champ. He lost the title night one, hasn't had a title opportunity since. Yeah. With that being said, I thought it was a very strong showing for him in NXT UK in his debut. He made Travis Banks look very strong. He came this close to winning. And honestly, I hope to see more of the Brian Kendrick in NXT UK. I think he can have some great matches. And who knows? Maybe he can do something with the wrestling genius, Cassius Ohno. But I digress. With that being said, let's go on to the last episode of 205 Live. That, of course, emanated from Dallas, Texas. It looks like 205 Live is not only evolving its roster, it's trying to reshape its commentary, as we had the duo of Aiden English and John Quazzo. I do not know much about John Quazzo. Obviously, he must be a respected sports correspondent, but he got the job. So good on him. And basically what happened here is it looks like commentary now leads us into the show and gives us an idea or rundown of the match card. And they did here. As they tell us, we have 2 first-time ever matchups in this 3-match showcase. It seems like the formula right now for 205 Live is 3 matches, sometimes first-offs, and basically it's more of bringing in the idea and letting people know who is the new 205 Live roster, while the OGs still trying to defend their turf to a degree. We had Leo Rush versus Tony Nese, Tyler Breeze versus Arya Daivari, again, and the Brian Kendrick versus Danny Burch. With that being said, our first match was Arya Daivari versus Tyler Breeze. 2. Tyler Breeze has definitely been repackaged. I'm glad he doesn't use the selfie stick anymore, but he's back to being that a bit of a pompous, cocky, over-the-top supermodel persona by himself since Fandango's injured. I hope he does recover. And he comes from his season of Magrice or something like that, probably a made-up city, or just screwed-up city name. And he faced Arya Daivari again. This is their second one-on-one encounter, as Arya Daivari has lost to Tyler Breeze already, once. And up to this point, Tyler Breeze, I believe, has had now 3 matches under 205 Live. He's undefeated. So this match was everything I expected it to be. Arya Daivari with the aggressive start, but towards the end of the match, we get a supermodel kick and then unprettier. But the awareness of Arya Daivari, he gets a rope break. So history did not repeat itself, as this was the same way Tyler Breeze beat him the previous encounter. Later on, we go for the beauty shot. He misses. He tries to go for the hemlock lariat. He gets countered. And then a package roll-up, literally tying his legs up. Tyler Breeze gets the win again over the OG of 205 Live, Arya Daivari. 2 weeks in a row and still undefeated on 205 Live. Arya Daivari, are you going to do something? Because, again, that was kind of the whole premise of Arya Daivari in this match, as commentary kept putting over, as he and the Brian Kendrick are right now kind of trying to illustrate this same principle. Though it wasn't concrete yet, these two were a duo, as we'll get into. Before all that, Chris, your thoughts on this opening match, and what do you think so far of Tyler Breeze's run on 205 Live?
Tyler Breeze has always been impressive. Like I said, if you follow his career through NXT, his ups and downs, going to the main roster, coming back to NXT, he's always been an impressive wrestler. Some people may not like the character he does, but oh well, such is life. He has always been an impressive and talented wrestler. Daivari, like I said, is one of the top heels in the company, period. He knows how to perform. You don't get the same style of match. You don't get the same finish every time he wrestles the same opponent again. Like in here, you didn't get the same finish. You got a little bit of different storytelling. You see there's some of their signature moves, but you didn't get the same story twice. And that's the thing with Daivari that makes him stand out from everybody else. You're not getting the same things over and over again. Yes, his finisher is a hammerlock lariat. However, he does it differently. He does different things. It's not the same. You're not seeing the same match over and over and over and over again from him. You get something different every time, and that's what makes him a great heel with his psychology.
Yeah, fair enough. And speaking of which, as we go into psychology, we go backstage in the gorilla position. We find the Brian Kendrick basically saying, you look like you could use a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I had your back. Because now we go into the man with a plan, the Brian Kendrick facing Danny Burch. For, I might add, the first time. Because this all stemmed from the Brian Kendrick coming back to 205 Live and basically causing Danny Burch a match against Arya Daivari, bringing forth this principle of we want the cruiserweights to do something. And basically, this match was a pissed off Danny Burch trying to get revenge against the Brian Kendrick. He almost did it here. Aggressive brawling in the forefront and then headbutt. Why is headbutt such a stable move on the UK British scene, it seems? And New Japan Pro Wrestling for that matter, but I digress. Anyway, headbutt, he goes to the ropes, but then the Brian Kendrick, the savvy and ring general he is, he goes behind the ref's back, boop, thumb to the eye, and then we find a sliced bread. Almost, he gets counted to a wicked clothesline, turns his head inside out. But then the difference maker comes into play, and it goes from Burch's past. Arya Daivari, who comes out, causes a distraction, and then via another sit-down pin, but this time grabbing Arya Daivari's hand through the second and third rope, the Brian Kendrick is the best of Danny Burch in this match and picks up a big win over one of the newcomers. The OGs finally getting a bit of a one-up over the new breed, per se. It was an interesting match, and now we see this new duo formed or alliance between the Brian Kendrick and Arya Daivari. No Drew Gulak in sight, of course. I miss him. Anyway, Chris, do you have any further thoughts on this match? And what do you think so far, by the way, of the governor?
I like Danny Burch. Like I said, he's going to get better in the 205 Live brand as it goes along here. He's getting better working with some of the smaller wrestlers, the quicker wrestlers. Like I said, the Brian Kendrick, like I said, he makes anybody look like $1 million with his psychology. He knows what he's doing in the ring. Yes, he's a smaller wrestler, but he knows what he's doing. He is the definition of an old school professional wrestler, which you have very few of left in the WWE right now, NXT, 205 Live. You have very few of them left. So he knows how to make a good match, how a good story. The addition of Daivari into the story is a good addition. Like I said, you had the scenario from earlier. Now, like I said, this is going to be a feud building up, a slow burn feud with the OGs versus the new school with 205 Live, and it's going to be interesting when everything unfolds.
That's right. And then we go into our main event between former Cruiserweight champions and the biggest Eagles on the review is the other, trying to prove once again why he is better than all of you as the premier athlete, as we had Leo Rush versus Tony Nese. A match that we've seen countless times before on NXT and 205. Much different here. And the only focus really for Leo Rush is what can he do to get back his Cruiserweight championship from current champ at the time, Angel Garza. And then Tony Nese is trying to illustrate the point while he should have been the fail forward, as I am better than all of you. This is proof. I give you 8 reasons why I'm the best as a former Cruiserweight champion. And these two put on one heck of a show, but I did not expect that for a finish. Chris, take me through your thoughts, your moments, and overall takeaways from this match.
It was a great match, and actually I'll defend the finish because I know people, I do give grief on the finishes, but this finish made sense. Tony Nese has been on a losing streak. He's trying to do whatever it takes to get a win. He has to do something. He has to come up with something creative. He hasn't been able to get the job done. He's been losing nonstop. Like I said before in the past, how many times can you just lose where you have to do something dastardly or do something that to be able to make sure you get yourself a win? That's what he did here. They were both on the outside. You know, earlier in the match, Leo Rush could have took a count-out win over Tony Nese. He didn't want to do that. Well, it hurt him in the end because Tony Nese, when they were both on the outside, he got to A, he throws him over to the announce table, gets back in the ring, tells the ref, come on, count him. And then we get the 10 count. Tony Nese wins by count-out. I don't always like count-outs. I don't mind disqualifications. They make sense. I definitely hate non-finishes unless they make sense and mean something later on for the story. But this made a sense to me. I'll defend this finish only because Tony Nese has been on a losing streak. This is continuing the story with Tony Nese of trying to get back up there slowly but surely, and he did it at Leo Rush's expense. Now I'm more interested to see how the fallout is with this because Leo Rush is going to want retribution against Tony Nese.
You saw his face after that, right? As he peeked over the announce table, he was pissed. Yes, it was a very competitive back and forth match. Leo Rush, of course, he outmatches Tony Nese from the speed game, but Tony Nese, he showcases how diverse he is as an athlete with some incredible offense. Leo, of course, with the handstand kick towards the middle of the match and a wicked suicide dive that almost sends Tony Nese over the announce table himself. And then Leo, who somehow survives going into the steps by literally stepping over. How do you do that? The evasiveness of this guy, come on. But then he gets to the ring. He tries to basically do deceptive type move, and he eats a wicked spin kick from Tony Nese that probably rearranged his jawline. Then Leo, of course, he gains advantage after breaking out of a submission hold and gets to come up, that little second rope springboard stunner. And then Tony Nese, though, he gets the better of Leo Rush. This was very back and forth throughout most of this match. He goes for his patented springboard moonsault, shades of Fabian Eichner. He crashes and eats canvas. Then we get a wicked power slam spot where I think it almost like a Michinoku driver nearly. Not enough. Nese then constantly taunts Leo Rush. He slaps him out. Then Nese again with some wicked kicks, that offensive fury that Tony Nese likes to showcase. Still not enough as Rush hits him with his own spin kick. Again, these guys jockeying move for move. We get a pop-up punch drag as Leo Rush on the top rope trying to go for final hour and almost falls badly, awkward landing. But then both of them, they are still on the top rope now, and they're literally jogging for position, and both of them take each other out and fall to the floor. Shades of another match, if you remember from last year's 205 Live, with two other different competitors that were very aggressive and brutal. Anyway, as you said, we go towards the end of the match, we find both men on the outside of the ring, and Tony Nese, he gets towards the ring while Leo Rush, he gets blasted and thrown over the announce table, and Tony Nese takes a count-out victory. I cannot honestly remember the last time Tony Nese won via countout, and this was a very interesting wrinkle in this, well, I would say, character redevelopment between both Tony Nese and Leo Rush. Leo Rush always showing that pompous, I can do anything attitude, I'm the man of the hour, and then Tony Nese trying to showcase why he deserves to be Cruiserweight champ again, trying to be the man of the hour. At this point, I'm not sure if you can really call someone heel or face here. You're just calling two Cruiserweights hungry for title opportunity again, because this was a match of former Cruiserweight champions. As Tony Nese kept on belittling the crowd and Leo Rush, how I am better than all of you, that's living proof, while Leo Rush looks on with probably a face you don't want to see on Leo Rush. And Tony Nese, I would be advised if I were you. And that ended last week's episode of 205 Live Matters. Nothing more than that. As they didn't really announce anything else, as throughout the show, they focused and hyped up WorldsCollide. As none of the men on this show would be involved in that four-way match, but they can put their name in that hat and build momentum towards the NXT Cruiserweight Championship, as it's now been christened. And boy, you talk about redefining the Cruiserweight division in 2020. What a fucking fatal four-way match. And we're going to start discussing that heavily as this week's episode of 205 Live highlighted that match. But come on, what can you not say about this match? Who did not impress you? Who impressed you the most? I'm talking out loud, but I'm also going to ask you these questions, Chris, because WorldsCollide is a brand new franchise that brings the best of NXT and NXT UK. As 205 Live pretty much now is NXT. That's why you didn't see it part of the banner. But you talk about finally bringing the Cruiserweight title to the main picture type status it deserves to be. You talk about really redefining the Cruiserweight division and finally giving me a championship that looks like a championship worthy of the Cruiserweight division. As before this match went on, Angel Garza, the current champ, received a brand new, custom-made NXT Cruiserweight Championship in black and purple. I love it. Well, with that being said, he entered in this match as champ, and we have the fatal four-way match between Isaiah Swerve Scott, Travis Banks, and Jordan Devlin. And boy, did this match made stars out of all four, did not disappoint, and gave me one of the biggest surprises so far of 2020. Before I go through and break down this match, Chris, give me all the talk you want about this match, the competitors who impressed you the most, and your takeaways now on what is pretty much the new 205 Live Cruiserweight division.
This was by far one of the best Cruiserweight matches so far this year, and it's early, and it probably will be considered the best one for the whole year in 2020. I don't see any other match topping this. it was interesting what they did before, for the match. First off, I'm going to say it like this. It was awesome that they had a Cruiserweight Championship match that wasn't on the pre-show or the very first match on the show, which was a different experience. That was something incredible in its own right, because like I said, I'm a big believer. Like I said, I believe it could be the opening match, get the crowd hot. They didn't do that. They put this as the second match on the main show, and which was something different, but it was well done, well worth it. No, I mean, only three of us on the NXT team expecting Jordan Devlin to become the new Cruiserweight champion. I didn't think so, just because of the fact that I figured they were going to bring a mid-card title to UK brand. They haven't done that yet. Angel Garza, I said, feeling like he just won the championship. The only critique I will have, mainly of the whole match, is I don't want to see this Cruiserweight Championship getting hot potato. I want people to have longevity, long title runs before we get somebody that defeats them. That's the only thing I'll worry about. That's just a critique about what I think about after the title change. But this match is by far the best Cruiserweight match in 2020. Great storytelling all around. Everyone looked like $1,000,000. I was so impressed with Isaiah Swerve Scott. I thought Isaiah Swerve Scott was going to get the win here, but nope, never bet against the ace. That's the thing. But that aftermatch promo with Jordan Devlin, well, you could tell that was a shoot. How passionate he was about that. Never bet against. He could tell he was like almost in tears after he won that title.
He couldn't believe it. I got a page worth of notes here because, again, this match, jeez. That is what I've been waiting for from the Cruiserweight division. Thank you, NXT and Worlds Collide. Okay, so first off, like I said, before the match, early on social media, Angel Garza receives a brand new christened NXT Cruiserweight Championship belt. Black and purple with silver and white gold. Beautiful title. Finally can believe in this title. Does not look like a joke. I would buy that as a replica as soon as it's available. And considering the tax return I got, that might be sooner than you think. Anyway, that's another thing. So we go into this match, and first up, Angel Garza, he immediately tries to go for his pants spot. And the other three men look on. And as it looks like we're about to get it, he gets triple super kicked in the face. Following that, Banks takes over with a Uranagi on Swerve. Banks, he gets the early offense, but then Devlin, he gets control over Travis Banks, and he Uranagis him on top of Swerve and then goes for a running senton bomb. Not enough here. Devlin, of course, taking control. And then we go with Swerve getting control. He has everybody got their offensive moments in, with kicking off into, I don't know what the hell Swerve was doing at this point. He was basically kicking the head off Travis Banks, goes for a cover, gets thrown off him, rolls through into a flatliner, and catches Jordan Devlin into a flatliner. Then Devlin, he gets power slammed into the floor after being caught in a torture rep position by Swerve. Garza comes back in play. He flies over the top rope, takes out Swerve. But then who comes in and then controls this part of the match, which I think also basically turned your thoughts on Travis Banks. Banks comes in with a double stomp to Garza, and just takes full control of this match for a good 5 damn minutes. My God. Everybody takes chops from him and kicks as he's screaming. That's part of his style. And then to talk about how he's been going through, how he made it to this point, how hard he's worked to get to this point. Then Swerve goes into Garza via a leg trip via Travis Banks. And then following that, Devlin, he tries to come into play, but he takes him out with a suicide dive, a.k.a. Missile Lope. And then he goes cannonball into Swerve and Garza. Devlin then tries to come back and play. He gets suplexed into Swerve's, let's just say where the sun doesn't shine. Ouch. Poor Swerve. Anyway, Devlin, later on after this, he gains control after, for those of you that are aware of AEW, there's a team called Private Party. They do something called the silly string. How the hell did Jordan Devlin do this? He rebounds off the back of Travis Banks and gets Swerve into a tornado DDT. Only for Garza to get a wicked running Spanish fly in the middle of the ring off him. Then Banks comes in from the top rope, breaks up a pinfall. Crowd is crazy. Following this, we have literally NXT and NXT UK as Garza and Swerve are bashing into each other. And Banks and Devlin are bashing into each other. But Garza, he finally takes advantage of this match as champion and basically gets the best of all three men, and the pants come off. I still think Ty does it better, but that's just me. Anyway, Swerve, though, he gets back into play here, and he gives a wicked double stomp. Oh, this was one of the craziest moments here, where everybody's suffering. You're like, who's going to take advantage? So Garza's got control of both Banks and Devlin. He has one person in like almost a back body faraway slam position, and then he has the other one on top of him in the electric chair position. So the fourth guy coming into play, Swerve, what did he do? Holy hell. He comes off the top rope and freaking double stomps into Banks, which leads to Garza, power slamming Devlin and nearly getting the finish here. Near fall. What the hell? Then we're down to Garza and Swerve as it's just a battle of NXT. We get a wicked pop-up knee strike, and then he tries to go for his patented house call finisher, denied as he gets headbutted by Jordan Devlin, and, botch. Jordan Devlin comes to play, he denies it, but then Jordan Devlin, he basically headbutts the hell out of Travis Banks, drops him where he stands. Devlin's side, he goes for it on Banks, and what the hell happens? A freaking destroyer that sent freaking Devlin into the ropes. My God. Anyway, following that, Devlin, though, he finally comes back into play on the top rope. We have both Swerve and Banks and Devlin, all three men on the top rope, extremely dangerous position, and he somehow, it was Scott and Garza, he somehow pulls off a fucking double superplex off the top rope, and the crowd goes, this is awesome. But then Travis Banks comes back into play, and he pulls off his signature move and finisher back-to-back. Slice of heaven, Kiwi Crusher. I thought, oh my God, Banks did it! No, near fall. Then following this, Swerve, he comes back into play, and basically impromptu Banks into a powerbomb type move, as he had Banks suspended from the top rope, holding his legs while Banks was holding his hands. Somehow, he causes his momentum to work against him, flips him into a friggin' powerbomb type position. What? I don't even know what you call that. Not up against, even though that was like a Rubik's Cube or something. That was crazy. And then we go, nope, kick out. So Garza comes back into play. He takes out Banks, and then he basically goes to the top rope, but he drop kicks the hell out of freaking Banks, which causes him to do a ridiculous reverse Rana to Swerve, and Swerve is taken out of the picture. Garza's in control. You figure he's going to win. He takes advantage of this with the wing clipper on Swerve, but who comes into play and stops Garza himself? Jordan Devlin, who finally pulls off the freaking Devlin side on Swerve. Garza's in the corner. 1, 2, crawling for it. 3, Jordan Devlin freaking did it and became the first active NXT UK superstar to become the NXT Cruiserweight Champion. The elation, the shock value, the moment, and the fact they played his original music from the freaking NXT UK Championship Tournament, that was something to behold, and the absolute elation on his face that he did this. The fact that Shawn Michaels has endorsed this guy, huge as the future, that's proof right there why you should believe in Devlin, and you don't bet against the Ace. I still believe right now he has one of my favorite matches of the years with Tyler Bate back at NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool 2, and this was the real stepping stone since that match that proved Jordan Devlin is everything he says he was to be. As you proclaimed in the Aftermath promo, he says, "Do you believe me now? No. Do you believe me now? I told you, I am the best pound-for-pound sports entertainer on this planet. Love me or hate me, you cannot deny me. Because tonight, I proved what I've said all along. You never bet against an ace." And then as one last little measure of thank you, he blows a kiss to the guy he pinned for the title, Isaiah Scott. Holy freaking hell, what a new match and a way to issue in a new era in the Cruiserweight division, and honestly, in NXT UK, because now that title's going to show up across NXT UK. There's something else now in NXT UK for people to contend for, and now you're going to see more Jordan Devlin on NXT here in America and 205 Live. What a moment, what a match, what a crowning achievement. My God. All right.
And on top of that, you're not even referencing the after-match part where, they showed him on the exclusives. They did an interview with him, and he's talking about, what are you going to do next? In the first interview, he goes, I'll show you. I got to get these faceplates changed. So, he gets the new faceplates, and he throws away Angel Garza's, and they do another little interview with him, and he's talking. He's going, I'm taking this back to Ireland where it belongs. You won't see me for a little bit, and he takes off. So,
hey, that's what you can do when you're champion. I mean, this really shocked me, but I gotta say right now, before we go to 205 Live, everybody performed, but let's see if we can actually pick out who probably stood out to us the most. Was it Jordan Devlin? Was it Travis Banks? Because Travis Banks has always been one of those that's like, he's just there. He can't really win the big one. This was a breakout performance, I feel like, for Travis Banks. Andrew Garza hugely stood out with the crowd, had awesome moments here, swore with all the confidence in the world. He was showcased like a star. But I feel like right here, you truly brought up what NXT UK offered. And I feel that's what WorldsCollide did as a whole. It was really trying to bring to the forefront, we are NXT, but NXT UK has evolved as a brand. As they're approaching their 100th episode, and they're only less than 3 years old. Anyway, that was literally the recap / mindful illustration and takeaways, passionate thoughts. Loved this friggin' match top to bottom for WorldsCollide, as that was the recap and the opener for this week's episode of 205 Live that took place from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I think it's safe to say at this point, the new commentary team, it might be John Quatso and Aiden English, as once again, John Quatso was taken over for Tom Phillips. It really seems like they're trying to change up stuff here. I'll admit, John Quatso, he's not that bad, but I feel like he talks less about the wrestling than even Tom Phillips. But maybe he's just trying to figure out stuff. Anyway, we go into here, they introduce us, and they talk about how we're going to get a rematch from the Brian Kendrick and Danny Burch, as Danny Burch demanded this match. And then we have two more first-time evers, as we have Angel Garza versus Tyler Breeze in the main event. And also, our first match is Joaquin Wilder versus Raul Mendoza. Two more late, great newcomers to the 205 Live brand, and basically the NXT Cruiserweight division. It would not surprise me before long that 205 Live is called NXT 205 Live, because literally, it's becoming NXT, part of NXT, and I'm happy with it. So we go into our opening match, and it is Joaquin Wilder with that bass and that EDM intro and look as always. And I can get behind that because, one, I love the game Watch Dogs, and two, Daft Punk's one of my favorite groups to listen to. Around the World, still one of my favorite songs. And he faces Raul Mendoza, who's been making huge strides in the Cruiserweight division. I thought this was a nice back-and-forth match. I feel like this was Joaquin Wilder's first real match on 205 Live, though he's had some decent matches on NXT as a Cruiserweight. And I thought it wasn't that bad. Chris, any thoughts you have on this match? And what are your interpretations so far on Joaquin Wilder?
Joaquin Wilder, like I said, he's interesting. Like I said, we know who he is from the past, from TNA, Impact Wrestling. We all know what he's accomplished outside of WWE. So we know he's got the talent. Like I said, he's got that true life story behind him, too, of what happened, how he seriously almost died. And that helps with, that gives to me sympathy for him. This is an incredible story with him coming back. And being able to form like this is an incredible feat, and like I said, it's truly a blessing. The match itself, I thought the match was pretty good. Like I said, Raul Mendoza, like I said, he's a future in the business. Like I said, I've been impressed with him. He is getting better and better every time I see him in the ring. Like I said, I was hoping that Mendoza won the match, honestly. Like I said, I've been growing more to like him, so I was really kind of surprised that he didn't win the match to me. I was really surprised by that.
Really? That's kind of an interesting thought, because you're right, Raul Mendoza, he's been getting a lot of great matches and some strong wins in 205 Live. But also Joaquin Wilder, this is like his second match under 205 Live, and it wasn't against a local talent. So I feel like it was kind of right for him here to win this. And it was a respectable win. Both of these men showcasing strong offense at the beginning. It was a stalemate at first. Then a wicked standing dropkick drop Wild when he stand. Then Wild, he goes over the top rope with a flipping senton, once again adding his own twist to his top rope aerial offense. Because, again, he's a bit of a daredevil. Anyway, we go towards the end of this match, and Raul, he gets him again with a dropkick out of midair. Ouch. He goes for that twist-around spinning flatliner called Santa Maria, I believe, and then falls over the moonsault. Still not enough. He was surprised it wasn't enough. Later on, as we move towards the match, there was a reverse Rana, and then wicked knees. And then, of course, Wild set up for his finisher, known as the Wild Fang, where he suspends his opponent, pops him up, and makes him eat both his boots in the jaw. And he gets the win over a very game Raul Mendoza, 1, 2, 3. A nice opener. there was some light chants for a while, so people do remember GJZ, or maybe they just like that air horn thing. I think it's a little overkill, but that's just me. And afterwards, they both had a handshake, and it seemed like it was a match of mutual respect. Welcome to 205 Live. You both performed well as cruiserweights. The crowd appreciated it. I thought it was a pretty good opener. Okay, so now we move into our next match, which is really a rematch, and it was demanded by Danny Burch. At this point, I don't know who's even running 205 Live. Is it Regal and Saint cooperatively? Is Drake Maverick even involved? I don't freaking know. Anyway, it's Danny Burch versus the Brian Kendrick again. And Danny Burch comes out swinging with heavy aggression against the Brian Kendrick. Might I add that the Brian Kendrick this time also came out with a newfound ally in Arya Daivari, as they both are trying to showcase this principle of do something. Anyway, aggression aside, this match really picked up when Arya Daivari came into play, as the Brian Kendrick took advantage and sent Danny Burch over the announce table, nearly gets a count-out victory. There were multiple times behind the ref's back that, of course, Arya Daivari took advantage, and they basically worked over Danny Burch's left leg. The Brian Kendrick took advantage of this over several times, trying to repeat basically history from the previous match at one point, including that pinfall where he grabbed his hands. The ref caught awareness on this, though, this time. Smart ref. Wicked headbutt, and then we go into a crossface submission, and the match gets thrown out via DQ. I gotta admit, I kind of saw this coming. All right, Daivari, he comes into play. So Danny Burch wins, but hey, he wasn't much of a winner after this, as Arya Daivari, the Brian Kendrick, he beats him down. They beat him down. They bring a chair in. They work the back of his legs with a chop block with the chair. Ouch. And then they try and basically injure him, break his legs. But then who comes back since October, looking better than ever, I might add, when we were unsure about his future based on his feelings. And I'm just going to let you take away this and talk more about this match because, again, you're very high on this person, and I bet you're glad he's back. 1-2's back, folks. Chris, take it away.
One and only Lorcan has finally come back. And I will admit something, though. If you watch NXT UK beforehand, because that comes on 205 Live, I had a feeling he was going to be back because only Lorcan and Danny Burch teamed up on just recently on NXT UK.
Yep.
So with that being said, I had a feeling this was going to play up for only Lorcan to make his return, and it did, and I was damn sure happy because now we have this new dynamic. Now we have the Brian Kendrick, and we have Daivari helping each other out. You know, they try to take down Danny Burch, but then he's got backup this time, come down the ring, the one only Lorcan. Like I said, he is like a Stone Cold-like character in the 205 Live division. Whether you like him or hate him, he is a badass. I am glad he is back. I have missed him being on this show. He creates something different, a different atmosphere, a different style. Like I said, I'm glad he's back, and I'm glad they're going to be there together as a team again. I want to see this match between one of the great wrestlers right now in the 205 Live, the veteran, the Brian Kendrick, one of the best heels, Daivari, in the 205 Live brand, versus Oni Lorcan, Danny Burch. I can't wait to see this tag match because this is going to be off the chart. I have high hopes for this damn match when it happens.
Yes, and as you pointed out on NXT UK, Danny Burch and basically Oni Lorcan made their historic return. Danny Burch back home. Only Lorcan, he just loves to fight. And they took on The Hunt and won. And now they might be going after Gallus. So we'll see what happens there. But again, that's a whole different world. And again, I'll leave that to Aftermatch Wrestling. But yes, Only Lorcan is back. And the crowd seemed very happy too, as we got fake 1-2 chants and Oni chants. And he definitely must have been working out. He looked much better, by the way, too. Welcome back, Oni. And he saves his partner. So yeah, I think it's safe to say we got a tag team rivalry coming up very soon in 205 Live, and I look forward to how it all breaks down. Welcome back, Oni Lorcan. Not a bad middle match. Now, before we get into the main event, they also point out how history was made at WorldsCollide, and Jordan Devlin, he finally proved why you never bet against the A's, and basically everybody became aware of who he was. If you weren't already aware of him after his incredible match against Tyler Bate, that got a standing ovation from Regal, Saint, and Triple H. He recently sent out a tweet, and he said the following: I've grafted 18 long years for a moment like this, and you better believe me, I'm only just getting started. Hashtag WorldsCollide. Straight from the Irish Ace himself, and Triple H approved and endorsed, as Triple H always does this. You know you did something right. Anyway, it's also been noted that not only will he be on the upcoming episode of NXT, he will make his 205 Live debut next week.
Yeah.
That's going to be extremely interesting to see what he does, what he has to say, who he goes up against. Time to figure out who's going to be his first rival. Could it be one of these two men here? Maybe. As we had a main event battle of, I think it's safe to say, two of the biggest egos on 205 Live. With a new reincarnated, repackaged, reinvigorated, currently undefeated, I might add, Tyler Breeze. And by the way, they changed where he came from this week. I guess it's Turks and Caicos, and that is Real Islands. And he faced the former champ himself, who came out still with a smile, Angel Garza. And Aiden English had a conniption fit because they couldn't pick a winner. With that being said, Chris, your thoughts on both these men and this match?
Tyler Breeze had the momentum here. Like I said, he was undefeated so far in 205 Live. You have Angel Garza, who has a valid point. He was not pinned for the Cruiserweight Championship. It was Isaiah Swerve Scott. He believes he deserves an automatic rematch. However, if you have to remember from storytelling in the past, when he lost to Leo Rush the first time with that little controversy at the end, he didn't get a rematch right away. He had to go and prove himself and earn that rematch. This is what he has to do here. So this match was pretty damn good. I actually really loved this match. Actually, I thought it was good back and forth action. At some points, I thought Tyler Breeze was going to pick up the win, but I was really happy that Angel Garza picked up the win. Yes, that'll end Tyler Breeze's undefeated streak in 205 Live, but you need to build up momentum if you're going to set up a singles one-on-one match between Angel Garza versus Jordan Devlin. I want you to see that match. I think Angel Garza is on top of his game, and you never want to bet against the ace. That match, I am very interested in seeing what these two men can do in a singles match.
Very interesting takeaways. And I mean, undefeated, he had what? Up to 4 matches, I think, so far? Come on. I mean, it's a good start, but even he has to lose sometimes. Nobody's undefeated on 205 Live. Anyway, yeah, egos aside, both these men out the gate, of course, they're just, messing with each other. A little bit of psychology. He immediately first goes for the pants. Denied. Why do you always go for the pants immediately? It never works out for you. Anyway, later on from there, we get a leg dragged out from Tyler Breeze. And Garza, he takes advantage and shows a lot more aggression here, as he usually does. Takes advantage of this match, and then corner drop kick, drops the knees out from basically Tyler Breeze in the Shattered Dreams position. But, of course, you can't do that, so he didn't go for that. Anyway, following this, there was a interesting stretch hold submission after a corner drop kick. And yes, before this stretch submission, the pants came off. I feel like in a Garza match, if the pants don't come off, you don't get Angel Garza at his best. As they say, he turns the intensity when he takes them off. And everybody loves it, including Aiden. Good grief. Anyway, he gets out of the stretch, so then Breeze, he gets an advantage with a brief exchange of offense. Both these men jogging for position, back and forth, back and forth. At one point, they literally collide with each other, chest midsection first, ouch, in the middle of the ring, both men down. Garza gets caught later on, though, with a wicked supermodel kick out of midair, and then near fall. Not enough. Later on, though, Garza gets the best of Breeze with that ridiculous knee strike, near fall. And you can tell Garza's starting to get frustrated here, as he does in the past, because he usually puts people away with that. Following this, he uses the ropes for an assist, rebound-style suplex, plants Tyler Breeze's face first, goes for another cover, still not enough. Now both men are down once again after exchanging with each other during the replay, and they both kick each other in the face. As we go towards the end of this match, Garza and Breeze, they jog for position. Garza attempts a moonsault, not once but twice, but Breeze, showing wing awareness, he keeps rolling out of the way to the opposite corner. This, of course, gets Garza infuriated, so he just goes for the Chinese type moonsault, a Wagner moonsault, and he ends up eating freaking Tyler Breeze's boots. We go for a roll-up. You think he's going to win here? No, kick out. So Breeze is trying to set up Garza for the prettier, and eventually gets caught in the wing clipper. Boom! And Garza wins 1, 2, 3, and proclaims he is coming back for his title. A very strong main event, I thought. We have two of the latest up-and-comers at 205 Live. And Tyler Breeze, I think, looking strong as ever. I was very impressed with this match, but literally, that was it. That was the end. So far, we know we probably got Danny Verge, Oli Lorcan, the 1-2 connection, versus Levi and Kinnigar Debray coming up in the following weeks. We also know that we're going to have a confrontation sooner than later, I feel like, between Angel Garza and Jordan Devlin. Though we'll see how Jordan Devlin does on both NXT and 205 next week and see what stories develop there. We know we're going to see more involvement from the NXT UK roster on 205 Live, as Jordan Devlin, now a representative of NXT UK, is the Cruiserweight Champion. It would not surprise me if we start seeing more of Mark Andrews, Flash Morgan Webster, and even Ligero for that matter. And also, at this point, we're on the road to WrestleMania. We need to figure out what's going to happen with this title. We don't have a single-man elimination tournament type thing going on right now like we did last year because, again, Drake Maverick, MIA. And so far, we are 65 days away. Well, 64 if you count today. So I'm very curious to see where we go from here. With that being said, that catches us up to speed on 205 Live and everything 205 Live and NXT. So let's go ahead and get into some simple stances. There's a lot of things we could talk about as we try to foreshadow the Cruiserweight division and how NXT and 205 Live will both play into each other in shaping it. So with that being said, Chris, what's on your mind tonight to talk about on Simple Stances?
Who do you think should be the number one contender for Jordan Devlin? Because I believe, and I know the Cleaver Call and Andrew agree with me, we were talking about this earlier, I think Tyler Bate should be one that challenges for him, at least have the first NXT Cruiserweight Championship match on the NXT UK brand be Devlin versus Tyler Bate, because Tyler Bate does have a right to claim it. He has been part of 205 Live before, and he has a right to claim it because he does have a pinfall victory just recently against Jordan Devlin before he won that title.
I have to agree. Again, so far, one of my favorite matches of the year and my favorite match from TakeOver, I'm telling you right now, for TakeOver Blackpool 2, it was Jordan Devlin versus Tyler Bate, which pretty much made Jordan Devlin into the star he is today, and everybody now knows him. Tyler Bate, of course, he's right now going to do a nice one-on-one respectable offense against A-Kid. He's not really in any budding rivalry, though Finn Balor might come back and try and kick his teeth in. Or Finn Balor might even challenge, or Tyler Bate might challenge Finn Balor to what he did to Trent Seven NXT. But right now, I completely agree. If you can set up a Cruiserweight Championship match for WrestleMania weekend, I would love to see Jordan Devlin versus Tyler Bate, and Jordan Devlin goes over Tyler Bate. Because again, Tyler Bate, he's done everything. So at this point, I say let's set up towards Tyler Bate versus Jordan Devlin at WrestleMania. He would be my first pick to be number one contender. So there you have it. But with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the approach, because I feel like right now we're not simple stancing, we're fantasy booking, because that's what we do sometimes on 205 Life Matters. So I guess the question to you is, what sort of approach should NXT and NXT UK use in 205 Live or through the 205 Live banner to set up the number one contender? Should we have qualifying matches and, like, I don't know, a fatal four-way? Should we have a gauntlet match? Should we have a ladder match? Should we have another single-man elimination tournament? What are your thoughts in setting up the ultimate Cruiserweight Championship match for WrestleMania weekend?
I would do it. I would let him defend the title against different people on each show. And then what I would do, I would actually, you know what, I would be opposed to doing a different version of a Fatal 4-Way, maybe do a Fatal 4-Way ladder match this time around. If you want to talk about that match being so incredible at Worlds Collide, why not we set up a match up during that time with it being a ladder match? You have Jordan Devlin defending. You can make a number one, get one challenger off the NXT show on Wednesday night. Then you can get one challenger off 205 Live on Friday. Then you get one challenger that can be from NXT UK. All those winners of those three matches per show gets into that 4-way ladder match at TakeOver WrestleMania weekend, and we have a 4-way ladder match for the Cruiserweight Championship. There has never been, as far as I understand, I could be completely wrong, because good brother Chris has corrected me sometimes, because sometimes his knowledge is a lot better than mine from history, and I know a lot. Same. But he has very good knowledge, so shout out to you, good brother Chris. So, but like I said, as far as I know, there's never been a ladder match for the Cruiserweight Championship. At least I know, as far as I know, in the WWE history or 205 Live history. Let's do a ladder match.
Yeah, I think that would be a first. To my knowledge, there has not been a ladder match under the 205 Live banner. They've done a lot of weird stipulation-type matches off traditional gimmick match names. Ladder match isn't one of them. So I kind of can agree on that, but I feel like they would probably change it up. And as far as the approach goes, considering Roderick Strong has also lost his North American Championship and has no gold and also competed on 205 Live, I would love to see them somehow set up a way to do Roderick Strong versus Tyler Bate again. And this time, you have Tyler Bate going over Roderick Strong, because those two can go at it, and Roderick Strong, to my knowledge, is literally 205 pounds. But also, you have a diverse, vast, bigger than ever roster in 205 Live. And of course, they're doing stuff across other brands. I mean, Tony Nese, Mike Kanellis, they've been impromptu tagging on NXT live shows. I would not be surprised if I see that in Detroit, Columbus, or Cleveland. And yes, I am going to see those shows live. I'm not sure if I'm going to see all three. I haven't decided yet. So a ladder match would definitely be an interesting first. And considering they don't do like the Money in the Bank ladder match anymore at WrestleMania, why not do a championship ladder match at TakeOver, which they've done for the tag team titles, for the Cruiserweight title? Who knows what sort of madness could ensue there? All right. So, with that being said, what else is on your mind? That's a good one.
Oh, Lord, what else is on my mind with the Cruiserweight? There's so much going on with this division right now.
Tell me about it.
So where do you primarily want to see the title defended more? Do you want to see it defended more? I know we seem like we don't get that many title defenses on TakeOver, stuff like that. We are getting them more now. And since we're not getting them on the main roster pay-per-views anymore, because they've done away with that, thank God, now they're on the pre-show, what do you want to see them do? Do you want to see more title defenses on the 205 Live show itself? Or do you want to see more of them on NXT or NXT UK? Like, which show out of three do you want to see the title being defended more? We have seen the title defended more on NXT, but I can't remember the last time, honestly, when we saw a championship match on 205 Live. Except the last time I can remember off the top of my head is when Nese won the title at WrestleMania. He defended in a rematch with Buddy Murphy.
Oh my gosh, I think you're actually right about that too, because every other Cruiserweight title match has been on pre-show and friggin' pay-per-views, because for the longest time during the fall, it was Drew Gulak versus Oney Lorcan, and Drew Gulak dropped the title at NXT. As the title's been christened as the NXT Cruiserweight Championship and has been a show stealer with an invested crowd in it, I kind of have to say right now that it feels like, because of the name too, it feels like the most appropriate place for it to be defended is under NXT. However, now it's under NXT UK, and they have yet to do a Cruiserweight title there. As far as being where I want to see it most defended, if they aren't going to do it anymore on 205 Live and treat more as 205 Live as the building type area, force storytelling area, I have to go with NXT. They have done no wrong with it. But now that Jordan Devlin's champ, I hope to see a Cruiserweight title match on NXT UK. So honestly, I have to say, NXT, keep doing it. Because they don't even do it usually in the opener at times now. They've done it like, some other points in the show and even had another Cruiserweight match. NXT is literally showcasing the Cruiserweights more than ever before.
Exactly. That's what they've been doing. So now the thing is, though, too, now should we start seeing more appearances from 205 Live and NXT 205 roster? Let's talk about, for example, like saying, should we see more appearances? Should we see Angel Garza maybe chasing Jordan Devlin since he's in NXT UK, trying to chase him to get his opportunity to that Cruiserweight Championship? Should we see more crossovers with the Cruiserweights from NXT to NXT UK since now Jordan Devlin is the champion? Should we see more crossovers from guys who are wanting to challenge, like a Leo Rush or like a Tony Nese, guys chasing him going, I want an opportunity. We will come to NXT UK to get a shot at that title. Should we see more storytelling that way?
I would say yes, because again, it still surprised me they took V. Brian Kendrick to NXT UK. It seems like right now, if you're 205 Live, you can wrestle across all three brands. And so far, the only person that has not diverged from that type of culture or statement is Arya Daivari. He has literally stuck to 205 Live after SmackDown. He has yet to do matches on NXT or NXT UK, although him versus Amir Jordan would probably be interesting. And hey, now Kenny Williams and Amir Jordan, if their tag team don't work out, that's two more potential additions to the Cruiserweight division. So yeah, more crossover, I think the better, because it leads to more exposure, it also leads to more storytelling, and also when it comes to a time of very indifferent morale in the WWE environment, the fact you have these territories, per se, you can compete under now, it kind of leaves your options wide open. And I feel like that's one of the biggest reasons why Oney Lorcan's back and the 205 Live brand is stronger than ever. So with that being said, I'm just going to close with this because there's still one unknown left to figure out. What the hell is Jack Gallagher doing? We have yet to see him back. They didn't even mention him this week or last week since his demands on Twitter or the fact he got a new look. Chris, what's next for Jack Gallagher? Where should he show up?
Shows up on NXT UK. He's going to be the first one to confront Jordan Devlin. You want to save that title match with Tyler Bate if they do that for the next takeover. Not because it looks like we're already set for NXT takeover Portland, but the one for WrestleMania weekend. Let's save that. Let's slow burn that. Let them build up. Let Jordan Devlin feel like dodging Tyler Bate. Oh, Tyler Bate's on NXT UK, but I'm over here at NXT performing now. Let's do a storyline like that. He's avoiding Tyler Bate because he knows he hasn't been able to beat Tyler Bate. So let the gentleman Jack Gallagher show up because he's part of all three brands too. He's appeared everywhere. Let him show up in NXT UK again and be the first one going, oh, you did something I haven't been able to do yet, and have a confrontation with him. And let's see that badass side. Let Jordan Devlin, because Jordan Devlin, regardless, he is naturally a heel. He can work both ways, folks. You're going to cheer him or boo him regardless. Like I said, the whole dynamic of face and heel has pretty much been dead. It's pretty much everything's like shades of gray now. You're going to cheer and boo whoever you want. So it really doesn't matter. It'd be a very interesting matchup if we can get that different side of the gentleman and get that badass, I'm going to be technical, but I'm going to beat the shit out of you kind of attitude. Get that with him facing Jordan Devlin, and that could be an interesting dynamic over there at NXT UK. That would give the gentleman something to do and be chasing Jordan Devlin for that title, since now there's something there for him to chase after. Because he's never had the Cruiserweight Championship. He wants that Cruiserweight Championship. That's why he's still wanting to come back to this brand. At the end, every wrestler's goal is to be champion. He wants to be champion. He has a better opportunity going to NXT UK because now the championship's there. He can go after Jordan Devlin there for a little bit. Give Jordan Devlin something to do till we get to that TakeOver WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah, definitely. Jordan Devlin's going to have a lot to do and say now, because you thought his ego was huge before with those Devlin Presents type things. He's now over the moon because he's the freaking Cruiserweight champion. He has gold, people. Black and purple gold. So we're going to be seeing a lot more of the Ace across NXT, NXT UK, and 205 Live. And we got a lot to figure out as we head towards WrestleMania. Again, it's WrestleMania season. It's the Super Bowl of the WWE. We're going to just have to wait and see what happens. But, you know, when I think about shakeups, I think about who I want to see back. I'm just going to close with this. If you could pick one cruiserweight to come back to the cruiserweight division, Chris, who would it be?
Drew Gulak.
Ding. There we go. Okay, I just wanted to say that. Bring Drew Gulak back, damn it! But I digress. All right.
Wouldn't that be an interesting matchup? Jordan Devlin versus Drew Gulak?
Yes! Absolutely! I don't want to see him getting squashed by whoever the hell he faces in dark matches. He deserves better. And the fact that this man already has given up on the likes of Akira Tozawa, Cedric Alexander, and Lucha House Party is just filler. And according to what I've heard, because I did look at something for SmackDown as far as a Fatal 4-Way tag match, I guess they were involved in it, but people didn't give a damn. It's not like Lucha House Party is doing anything, but hey, Callisto, congratulations on re-signing with WWE. I hope it's worth it. I hope that money's worth it, people. Anyway. All right, well, that's all I got. Chris, is there anything else in your mind, or I think that's a good way to wrap up tonight?
All I'm going to say is everybody who got drafted, the Cedric Alexanders, the Humbertos, everybody that's put them back on 205 Live, they would thrive more in NXT and NXT UK brand, because now, finally, that we have a champion that's in NXT UK, this is a great opportunity to create so many different stories, so many different variables. Bring everybody back that you drafted to Raw and SmackDown, the exception of Buddy Murphy, because he seems like the first one out of the 205 Live brand has got gold, because he is one half of the Raw Tag Team Champions. So you can leave him there for now, like I said, but bring everybody else back. There could be an awesome opportunity. So many different stories can be told now that Jordan Devlin is champion, whether people are going to come from other brands to chase after the title or whoever. Like I said, Irish Ace has got a target on his back, and he's got a whole lot of people wanting that championship. I cannot wait to see his first title defense and how it all plays out.
And to think, I thought they were going to set up Walter versus Jordan Devlin for their next UK takeover. And they still might, because I still keep thinking about their feud, their rivalry, and their matches from over-the-top wrestling, because I do follow British wrestling to an extent, but I digress.
That
And
would
with
be
that,
awesome, though, if he was champion. He was still Cruiserweight champion, the NXT Cruiserweight champion versus the NXT UK champion. That would be awesome. And wouldn't that be a moment, him holding both titles, Cruiserweight and World Champion? No other man has been the Cruiserweight champion and won the Heavyweight Championship at the same time. Any version of a Heavyweight Championship. He could make history if he was able to pull that off. That would be actually an incredible story, an incredible moment there.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I hope down the line they set up towards that, because now that the NXT Cruiserweight Championship has been ascended past pre-show status and has been the stratosphere, I feel like, why not try and bring it the idea of, double champion per se, aspirations? Will they pull the trigger on that? I don't know, because right now, Walter seems unstoppable, and I certainly am not going to bet against Imperium, because the mat is sacred. But with that being said, we are done here for this special double feature edition of 205 Live Matters. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and your support, as always. Greatly appreciated. Chris, I don't know how we keep doing this, but here we are again. And we did in under an hour, practically. This is always a fun, enjoyable time of discussion. Is there anything you want to plug, and where can people find you?
You can check out my YouTube channel, The Holiday Christopher Mace. I'm very humbled owner. I got 325, 326, whatever the number is. I'm just humbled people watch this show. I'm just very humbled and honored that people actually sit there and take time to listen to my thoughts and opinions. Sometimes I ramble, but oh well, I'm just getting out my thoughts and opinions about all kinds of things, different wrestling subjects. At the heart of my channel now, like I said, is the NWA Power Review I do with Mark Reviews. We talk about everything going on with NWA Power, especially their relationship with Ring of Honor. The countless opportunities they have right now, everything going on. That's definitely, if you are missing something, you can definitely check out the review. We'll get you up to speed of everything going on with that. You can also follow me on Facebook, Christopher Mace, Twitter, Christopher Mace, Instagram, Christopher Mace. Like I always say, support every member of the NX team. Go to my wrestling content playlist. You can check out all the newest episodes, whether it's our show here with 205 Live Matters, What's NXT, NXT Party, Chopping Blocks, Wrestling Blogs, rundowns, every show. Like I said, all the newest episodes are there. You can be able to find them. And if you like their channels, go ahead and give them a like, share, and subscribe to their stuff too. Everybody's talking about some different form of wrestling, different subjects. We got everything pretty much covered, especially, of course, sportnodq.com. That's why the reason a lot of us are doing these shows. Aaron Rift, everyone, like I said, they have great time, great conversations. Like I said, everybody's got a diverse style, a diverse personality about it. Whether you love it or hate it, it doesn't matter. Like I said, just respect each other at the end of the day.
That's all that matters. Simple as that. Big as always, sir. Extreme pleasure. And people, if you want to know more about me, know this. I'm just a simple man. And if you haven't figured it out by now, I am a lifelong fan of wrestling. So if you want to follow me and talk anything wrestling, yes, waffles. And the 5 brands of WWE, 205 Live, NXT, NXT UK, even Raw and SmackDown. And trust me, I will talk to you about those two more critically. But I digress. And also, of course, everything else outside WWE, including but not limited to New Japan Pro Wrestling, my number one, AEW, Ring of Honor, Impact, Stardom, Pro Wrestling Noah, Independent Wrestling in general, Sport Pro Wrestling, folks, and so much more. Look me up on Twitter, nodiko.com/Noah takes you to my Twitter page, or follow me on Instagram, #SimpleManInLife, @Imfoster1916. I'll give you a nice hello, my moments, my thoughts in wrestling, and just moments in my life in general. You never know. And also, please follow my civil YouTube channel here at youtube.com/user/NoahFoster210. New content every week at the Heart Rate My Series, #205 Live Matters. Still going strong. We'll try and flex between bi-weekly and weekly. It just depends on the weekends and wrestling and work schedules. It's been a wild January, all right? At least February will be a little easier, considering the only thing that matters here is NXT TakeOver Portland and AEW Revolution, because I don't really care about Country or Doctor. But I digress. Anyway, stay tuned for more content as well, including but not limited to a simple take on NJPW, The New Beginning, Sapporo Night 2, as well as predictions with me, Chris, who knows who else, either Sunday night or Monday night on Osaka, as we conclude the New Beginning Tour, for I am the current champ and leader of the NJPW wing of Team ADQ. As Chris Mace alluded to, he is the leader of the NWA wing of Team ADQ. And if you haven't figured it out by now, with all the DQ we talk about, like he said, support No DQ. The reason I got into YouTube, forever indebted to the No DQ family. Buy a shirt. I have a shirt. Buy a tapestry. Buy a sticker. Buy a mug. Buy a pillow. Just do it. Support my friends. NoDQ.com/merch to the store. Follow NoDQ on all your social media platforms. Your opinions matter. There's a comment section and everything. Polls, columns, memes, gifts, reviews, recaps. Live, I might add, too. Sexy female pics. You name it, it's there. Primarily wrestling from WWE, with a little bit of AEW and independent wrestling. Recently, Team NoDQ, they started doing NoDQ Review live, and they literally will take your questions, your super chats live, and you can see yourself on the screen, at least with those super chats. So why not join in the fun? So please tune into that every week, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as of right now. Schedule is subject to change. Also, if you haven't already, please join us in Team NoDQ/NoDQ Galaxy Predictions League. Yes, it will be back this month for Country Redacted, because Team NoDQ will be doing predictions on that show. Boy, do I feel excited. But I digress. Anyway.
Spider-Man feels excited about it, too. I'm telling you.
I'm sure your brother Chris does as well. But also, Team NoDQ will be back at the end of the month for AEW Revolution pay-per-view predictions as well. And stay tuned for Aftermatch Wrestling and the NXT team, as we'll be doing predictions for NXT TakeOver Portland. There's a lot of great wrestling coming up in February, regardless of the indifferences we have with some stuff. Anyway, as always, I'd like to close. Support your wrestling outlets for big and small, and let's keep growing this incredible, diverse, unique, elite, unpolitic, unscripted, authentic wrestling community together. Simple as that. With that being said, thank you again to everybody who tuned in to this episode and continues watching my series, and for everybody that's tuned in to something on this YouTube channel. I greatly appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, tell a friend, hit that bell to know when the next video is going to go live, hit the subscribe button, help me grow the channel. I just want to grow the wrestling community and just bring my fun in wrestling. So, hey, you ever want to join me for episode 205 Matters or a simple predicting wrestling video or a simple chat? Please, look me up, DM me, be happy to join you. Get your channel out there, have fun as a content creator. Recent member of our Facebook group, Armbar, Jen, she started her own channel as well. She does great reviews in WXW and gives her thoughts in NXT. She's a good-hearted friend, too. So, until the next video, and thank you again to all who supported me. Special shout out to Random Person Tonight, Brandon Greatman, who's been a great contributor to the 205 Live Matters Facebook group. Please join us there as well. For the holiday, Christopher Mace, I am your civil man and host of 205 Live Matters, Noah Foster. Until the next video, take care, enjoy life. Tomorrow's never guaranteed, especially as January showed us. Treasure your families. Enjoy wrestling. There's more content out there than ever, so there's obviously something out there for everybody. Heck, I went to AEW Live, and I'm still buzzing from it. Maybe I'll do a simple live take on that, too, tomorrow. We'll see if time allows me to. But until next time, as I always allude to, I hope you all have a good night.
Have a good night, y'all.
And remember, for those who tune in for the first time, I always truly close with this, because that is the mission statement I stand by, and Funagi's number one. More than ever now, NXT has proven that 205 Live matters. Always.
Indeed.
And Funaki will always be number one. I love the Japanese announce team. Goodbye, everybody.
Good night, y'all.